Hey, today we're going to talk about buying a brand new old bike. So there's inherent problems when you buy any machine that's 20 years old and you don't know the history behind it. One of those problems is you don't know what the condition of this bike is. It could have been sitting out in the backyard, for 20 years getting rained on, rats chewing up everything, the elements just wearing and tearing. It could have been stored in a nice climate-controlled garage. You really got to do some investigation. At least you got to use your brain, your eyes, your nose, your hand, like feel it, touch it, smell it, look at it. There's certain things you need to look out for on any bike that's 20 years old, that's new to you.
Have you shopped for a used bike before? Have you had success? Have you had drama? Leave a comment and let us know.
Okay, so this bike right here is a 2002 Road King, and it has 4,000 miles on it. So this bike hasn't even had its first oil change yet. As great as that is, and we also got it for an incredible deal. So these bikes are out there. They're hard to find, these brand new old bikes.
Okay, this one seems like a no-brainer. You want it to start and you want it to run.
So like one of the things you might want to check is the engine. Is it seized? Does it run? If it doesn't run, can you get a spark out of the thing? Does it have compression? Just basic things you want to look at before you drop any amount of money on anything. You don't want to throw money into a money pit. So we were really lucky to find this bike. It was in amazing condition. It was stored indoors. It was ridden a little bit. The people that owned this bike loved it, and it's in great shape. It'll start right up. Purrs like a very loud kitten.
So that gorgeous sound makes me think about exhaust, right? This is a crucial part of buying. Now, before you start the engine, inspect the exhaust. Look for rust and corrosions. Look for rough spots in the system which show signs of work.
So besides that, there's also bikes that might have had recalls. Some years were better than others. You should check the VIN on your bike and see if it had recalls, if the work's been done or not done. This bike had timing chain tensioner was a problem on this bike. Obviously, I had to have that taken care of. It wasn't done on this when we bought it, so we have to look into that. Dealerships will honor those recalls, even today. So this is a 20-year-old bike. If it had an issue that was a recall, the dealership will warranty that, and you won't necessarily be out of money, out of hand. So beyond that, Harley Davidsons are very customizable. Now, does that mean that you're going to love everything that's already on the bike? Maybe, maybe not. So this bike came with La Rosa pipes, Mikuni carburetor, 16-inch ape hangers. I put a bigger cam in it. It came with several seats, the windshield, a lot of different things that I would be paying for if not already on the bike. Does that mean I love everything that's on here? Is this the way I would have set it up? Maybe, maybe not.
So here's another biggie. Checking the brakes and clutch will save you headaches down the line. To test the brakes, just sit on the bike, have it out of gear, roll it forward, and then hit the brake. It should come to a stop, let go of the brake, roll forward, check it again. There should be no sound coming from the brakes at all. For the clutch, just pull the clutch in, release it slowly, and it should be smooth as can be. If there's any unusual tension or pull, there could be a minor issue, but chances are the clutch would need to be replaced due to overuse.
Are the seals cracked and hard because they're weathered? Are the tires, any 20-year-old tire is past its prime regardless, but for sure one that's been sitting out in the elements for 20 years is going to be cracked, not street worthy. These are things you have to look at and consider. So another thing that's important is the title on the bike. Is it a clean title? Does it have a title? Is it you have the keys and title and things like that, or is it just some guy off Craigslist trying to sell you a bike that he found?
And what about that suspension? An easy way to tell if a used bike's suspension is still good is to simply have a seat. To check the rear suspension, sit with enough downforce and the bike should snap back up to normal without springing up and down. For the front, push down on those forks and listen. There shouldn't be any rough sounds. The motion should be smooth and there shouldn't be any leaking oil from those seals. I mean, check those seals, guys. And check the oil for residue. That's important. Make sure it doesn't have water in there or metal shards. And also checking the fuel tank, right? Mike said to use your nose. Does it smell like paint thinner or does it smell like gasoline? Open that cap and check to see is it clear in there, right? You want to take a peek at that interior surface of the fuel tank. Look for a shiny silver color. If you can't see the shiny, well, chances are it's an old tank and it might even need to be replaced. So if all the stuff we talked about looks good and sounds good, ask if you can have a test ride. Now, a lot of people are squirrely about that, but be prepared to leave your license or maybe even a cash deposit, or offer to have the owner test ride alongside you in their car and let them lead.
Okay, so a lot of the things I've discussed aren't limited to just buying a used Harley Davidson. They apply to any make, any model. They just apply basically when you're buying any new old bike.
Oh, and when you get back from that test ride, take a look under the bike and make sure there aren't any new drips that you didn't see before. And hey, we know that not everyone is a factory-trained mechanic, so ask the owner if they're opposed to having a third party check it out, right? You might want to take it to a friend who has a lot of experience in bikes and doing rebuilds, or you might even want to consider taking it to a professional garage. You can make arrangements with the owner, and you know what? I recommend this if you're not mechanically inclined. But if you do have a friend or family member that is a mechanic or knows what they're doing, or you have a great relationship with your pro mechanic, bring them along. It can save you a lot of time and hassle.
So what kind of things do you guys look for when you're buying a used vehicle or used motorcycle? I'm pretty sure I left out a couple things, but why don't you guys leave a comment and let me know what I left out.